Audi Quattro, Lancia Delta Integrale, Toyota Celica GT4, Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution, even the modern-day Toyota GR Yaris. All are rally refugees. All pack crazy performance. All have a solid heritage. And most importantly, all are all-wheel drive. Oh, there's also this. The Subaru Impreza WRX. The TLDR? Unless you've got a similar car from a similar era, it drives like nothing else on the road today. The numbers, they're not that impressive. It's just 2 litres from that iconic EJ flat 4 engine with over 200 horsepower and 300 Newton meters going to all 4 wheels via a 5-speed manual gearbox. Very, very simple stuff, but the noise and the way it drives, oh my god, it's so heavy, it's so analog, it's so raw. Everything requires a deliberate action from the driver, and you know there's nothing to get in the way. It's just you, the car, and all the mistakes waiting to happen if you push it too far, because traction control, nope, none of that right here. On top of that, you can also do all the sensible things. You know, you can put groceries in the boot, you can put people in the car. It does the boring stuff pretty well. It's truly one car to do it all. With this, you really can have your cake and eat it. Oh. Yeah, actually I take back what I said, because it's not rainbows and butterflies all the way, guys. The clutch is very, very heavy, so if you ever find yourself caught in traffic, it's a nightmare. There's no other way to put it, it's a nightmare. I've lost count the number of times that my calf has actually cramped up because I was sitting in traffic for way too long. There's little to no refinement at all because this car doesn't understand the concept of ride quality or noise levels whatsoever. And I wince every time I go over a pothole or a manhole cover because it's just that bad, it crashes throughout. And that exhaust note you heard earlier on, sure, fun for a while, but if you were to drive it up to Penang and back down to KL, nope, that drone's gonna make you deaf. On top of that, this car also has a pretty serious drinking problem. How bad is the problem? Think around the region of 13 litres per 100 kilometers. Yeah, not good at all. And on RON 100, mind you. It's supposed to be an everyday sedan, but the everyday part in modern day traffic jams? Nope, purely only on paper. I don't think I can drive this car every day, realistically speaking. No one can unless you're a masochist. There are moments where I do catch myself thinking, if only I could have all this performance in a more livable package.
Fast forward 2 decades of technology development, and this is the answer. The all-new Mark 8 generation Golf R, an everyday performance hatch that you can tackle any and every situation. This is a new breed of hot hatch, and unlike Greg's ancient machine, this Golf R will cling onto sports cars, supercars even, and not burst your fuel bill. And the balancing act between performance and efficiency is thanks to this brilliant EA888 2-litre turbo petrol engine, making 320 horsepower, 400 Newton meters of torque, paired to a 7-speed wet clutch DSG. There's just no contest in terms of performance between the two cars. I will eat Greg's WRX for breakfast, brunch, lunch, tea, dinner, and even supper. And with these modern performance hot hatches, there's just no need to compromise in terms of everyday practicality and comfort. School runs, driving to work, grocery runs, stuck in jam, moving houses, all of the mundane stuffs are all A-OK. And when the roads open up, You get to deploy all 400 Newton meters of torque onto the tarmac safely and confidently thanks to the brilliant 4-motion all-wheel drive system. All the torque split, torque vectoring are all happening in the background at millisecond intervals without you even noticing. Unleashing all that firepower takes no effort at all. Just look where you want to go, point, and shoot. And in the Golf R, the safety net is just so wide thanks to the modern electronic wizardry. More often than not, you will first run out of talent and courage before you even thread the limits of the Golf R.
So, okay, objectively, the WRX is very far behind the Golf R, but that's not the point. Okay, this car is so much more raw, it's so much more visceral. It may sound like a cliche, but they really don't make them like they used to anymore. And when it comes to driving, you know, you want to use all 4 limbs to drive the car, right? That's why real drivers, they get turned on by the act of driving in its purest form. We don't get turned on by numbers or 0 to 100 figures, la-di-da-di-da. It's just a different kind of mentality. And on top of that, this is why cars from the early 2000s, performance cars from the early 2000s, that's why they're so sought after. You know, they're just built differently. This was before the time where emission standards came in, before safety standards came in and ruined everything.
Over 20 years apart, and all-wheel drive performance cars have evolved to become precision tools which allows you to tackle any type of road situations, both rain and shine, without having to work hard for it. It's laughable how easy it is to carry mind-bending speeds into a corner and come out alive in the Golf R. Unless you deliberately drive into a wall, I find there's very little reasonable, acceptable excuses for crashing in one of these all-wheel drive performance cars. This Golf R is one of those cars that anyone can just get in and drive to the office or to the track and enjoy, as well as unleash every single bit of performance this car has to offer. Strip away all that fluff. At its core, both the Golf R and WRX shares the same formula: a turbocharged engine and all-wheel drive. A very effective formula that makes them very fast cars in their respective eras. The WRX is like hand grinding your own coffee beans. May not be the most efficient, may not be the finest texture, but tasting your own hard work is a little bit sweeter. The Golf R is the state-of-the-art coffee grinder. Instant, effective, efficient. And the coffee is going to taste the same, if not better. But you'll quickly be desensitized to the process.
It's the case with the WRX, right? I mean, it's love in its truest sense. Actually, not love, marriage. Because marriage takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of effort, but it's more rewarding because of that. And driving this car it's love, it's marriage, basically. And you know, I'm not even sad that modern cars don't offer this kind of performance, because that's really life in a nutshell. We grow up, the cars grow up, you gotta move with the times, right? And speaking of grown-up cars, the Golf R, I mean, it's because it's so accessible, it just makes this car all the more special because of it.
Yeah, I think Greg, you said one very important key point: grown up. And I think this Golf R in its Mark 8 generation, you benchmark it against any metric against its predecessor, this Golf R, the Mark 8 generation, is by far the most talented, most accomplished Golf R yet. And yes, it's not as exciting, it doesn't make the same rumbles as your WRX, it doesn't fire up all your neurons, but you can get in this all year round without giving it a second thought, and that is the appeal of the Golf R.
Yep, indeed. And actually, speaking of growing up, life does get in the way. And things getting in the way is traffic. So actually, you gotta chow.
Okay, let's wrap up this video very quickly.
Come on, let's go.
And yeah, gotta head off.
Dropping you, Puchong.
Yes, dropping you off at Puchong.